What's going on, everyone? So one of the big concerns going into this season, especially after last season, was the Lakers' lack of depth and particularly bench scoring. Right? Lakers were dead last in bench scoring last season, and so obviously that was just a built-in inherent concern. Now, Lakers did turn Dorian Finney-Smith into, basically added three players. Jordan Goodwin, they got rid of him, but basically turned Jordan Goodwin, and if you want to include Jordan Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith into Jake LaRavia, DeAndre Ayton, as well as Marcus Smart. So you got more depth, you got more versatility. But again, Marcus Smart is not a guy you're really going to look at to give you, 15 a night on average. Like, he's more there for defensive purposes. Yes, he's going to give you some offense, but, it's probably in the 8 to, if you're lucky, maybe 12 a game type range. Looking for him more of that defensive piece, that veteran, that leader, that vocal guy that can defend multiple positions, play multiple positions, impact the game in several ways. That's how you're looking at him. Jake LaRavia, you're looking at to be that offensive piece, being that two-way guy, right? DeAndre Ayton obviously gives you that center. Now Jackson Hayes gets to come off the bench. I wouldn't be shocked if Jackson Hayes averages basically what he averaged last year. I could see him being an 8 and 5 guy or something like that off the bench, just because, he's still going to be playing alongside Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron. Still probably going to get, 15 minutes a night. Still going to be the lob threat, especially during the regular season. There are things that could look good for the Lakers. Jared Vanderbilt, whatever he pieces in. What is the starting unit? What is the bench unit? What is the rotation, guys? Right? There's still a lot of questions that we're waiting to have resolved, even though I think we kind of have a bit of a picture of what it will look like, right? Like, I think, the top 10, 11 guys are going to be Luka, in no particular order, but Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes, and then Dalton Knecht. I think he's going to have a real opportunity while LeBron is out. And then when LeBron comes back, depending on how good or bad he was, could dictate if he's in the rotation, right? Lakers obviously can make some trades. There's a lot that could happen. Nick Smith Jr. is a guy that I think could be that Lou Williams type guy for you off the bench. I look at that more towards next season than necessarily this season. But I genuinely believe the Lakers may have solved their bench scoring, right? Yes, the Lakers are very top-heavy offensively still, right? Between LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton, those four guys they're going to make up, a 50% plus of your offensive production. Probably closer to like 80%, but, they're going to make up a lot of that scoring, a lot of the production in the starting unit. Then you get to the bench, right? If you bring Rui off the bench, and we're seeing how aggressive Rui Hachimura is right now. I love that. And to me, I think it's more of a reason and argument to bring him off the bench. Right? JJ Redick talked about how he wants Rui to be more aggressive. Don't settle. He saw, especially with Darvin Ham. How many times was he just kind of regulated? There we go. Or relegated. There we go. Relegated. Words are hard. Relegated to being a spot-up catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, and he would just stand in the corner all game like this, right? Now you see him finally starting to, be aggressive, and last season, attack closeouts and things like that. Well, JJ Redick wants him to be even more aggressive, and so far through preseason, he's been very aggressive. How aggressive can he be playing alongside LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton? Probably not that aggressive. But if he comes off the bench, he can be more of a focal point. He's a guy that, he's averaging 13 a game, the last few seasons. To think he can't, if he's more of a focal point offensively, I'm not saying you have to run every play, every possession through him, but if he's more of a focal point, kind of your sixth man in scoring regards coming off the bench, all of a sudden, he's a guy I could see being, 15 to maybe 17 a game off the bench, right? To think, if he's more aggressive and more of a focal point offensively, particularly off the bench, to think he can't average 2 to 4 more points. It's only a basket or two for a guy that, he's one of the best mid-range guys. He's an excellent offensive player all around when he's allowed to be. So Rui Hachimura alone could solve a lot instantly for the Lakers as far as the offensive production off the bench. You get what we've seen thus far from Rui off the bench. He gets to be more of a focal point, which is key because we've seen Rui check out when he goes to the bench. So how do you keep him from checking out? Hey, this is like, we're doing this to better maximize you so you get more opportunities. Rui even said himself when asked, do you want to start, come out? He said, I don't really care. I just care about the minutes and like role and, my starting and my closing, right? Like the nights that he's lights out and killing it, you let him close. The nights that he's struggling, hey, no problem. Good game. Let's try again next time, right? Like no problem, right? So I do think there is that potential for Rui to be that kind of impact player and kind of help elevate the bench by himself, essentially. Now you start getting into the other guys. If Dalton Knecht can have a resurgence, and like I mentioned, he's going to have an opportunity like he hasn't had since the beginning of last season, right? Because LeBron James is not expected to be back till supposedly, according to Shams, the middle of November. So Dalton Knecht's going to have probably close to 15 games to really kind of carve out and play that role and give you that offensive production off the bench. Now, obviously, he needs to play defense. Even JJ Redick talked about how like his minutes and his role is going to be based on his defense because we know he can score the basketball. Right? But now if Dalton Knecht starts to get cooking and he starts to find his rhythm and he starts to find his flow, there's another guy that can raise the ceiling offensively for the Lakers. Jake LaRavia. He's a guy that, last 2 games kind of been a little inconsistent shooting the basketball, but he's done everything. I mean, you've seen the defensive versatility, you've seen the rebounding, you've seen the playmaking, you've seen everything. He had like 4 steals in the Suns game. Like the guy's been putting in work and he's a guy you can see can score the basketball. Right? He's a guy that can shoot the basketball. He's a guy that can, take guys off the dribble, be a legit 3-level scorer. So now you add in him. And now you have Jake LaRavia with Rui Hachimura and Dalton Knecht and right. Add in Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent has been lights out in summer league or in preseason. Right? He's been shooting the ball very well. Right? You look at kind of last game, started, was it 5 of 5, and then kind of cooled off a little bit, and he kind of started shot chucking a little bit, but again, it's preseason. He was absolutely in fuego. I don't mind it. Take your shots. It's fine, right? Regular season, not going to really do that. He's not going to get 20 attempts, right? Like, even if he is hot, he's probably not, unless he's like how he started the game. Eventually, he's starting to cool off. It's like, all right, let's get back to running the system. Let's get back to running the action. He's going to get back into it. But, when it's you and a bunch of J League guys, kind of have that green light. It's like, chuck them up, let them go flying. But Gabe Vincent shot 38% from 3-point range the first or the last 3 months of the season. And he's been, like I said, he's been lights out so far during preseason. He hasn't played every game, but the games that he has played, he shot the 3 ball incredibly well. So now, again, that's another guy. Right? And I'm not saying all these guys are going to average 15 or anything like that. Like Lakers are putting up 200 points a game or anything like that. But I'm saying, like, for a team that went and was basically absolutely abysmal offensively off the bench and dead last in bench scoring, it's like, well, okay, Rui's a guy that go get you 13 plus. Let's just stick to his average last year, 13. Okay, it's 13 a game off the bench that you didn't get last year. Add in Jake LaRavia. Say Jake LaRavia give you 10. I don't think that's crazy. 10 points a game on average. Okay, well, there's 23 points. Gabe Vincent, can he give you 10? I don't think that's crazy, especially the way he's been shooting the basketball. Right? On average, there's going to be nights where he has 15, nights he has 2, right? Like I'm saying on average, can he give you 10? All of a sudden, that's 33? That's not counting Jackson Hayes. Whatever Jackson Hayes gives you, which I think he'd give you another 8 to 10 because he's still going to be playing alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James and Austin Reeves, all that stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you're talking 43. And then Marcus Smart, can he give you another 6? Right? All of a sudden, you're damn near 50 points off the bench. Right? Like, I don't think, but the thing is, I don't think that's crazy. Like, again, if Rui is more of a focal point offensively, he's going to give you, like I said, probably 13 a game. Jake LaRavia has shown the ability to give you 10 plus. I mean, he's averaging 10 right now in preseason. So to think that he can't give you 10. Add in Gabe Vincent, who, if he continues to shoot as well as he's been shooting, I think can, again, give you another 10. Jackson Hayes being that lob threat. I mean, last year he averaged 6. Let's say he just averages the 6. So if you get like 13 from Rui, 10 from Gabe, 10 from Jake LaRavia, it's not even counting Dalton Knecht, right? Like, if Dalton Knecht coming to his own, he averaged double digits off the play. All of a sudden, you could have on any given night. Obviously, some guys are going to be good some nights. Again, the role players, right? So I'm not saying like you're going to get, that exact stat line every single game from everybody. But I'm saying if on average you can go, 40 to 50 points a game, because Dalton Knecht gives you 21 night, and Gabe Vincent gives you 20 a different night, and Rui gives you 25 a different night, right? Like, and then all these other guys are trickling in, and then Jake LaRavia is giving you 6 that night, but Gabe gave you 5, right? Like, and it's like, again, if you can kind of be in that 40 to 50 point per game range, and we saw like in the Dallas game, stuff like that, the Lakers bench providing the offense and being that offensive, like all of those things I think have a ton of value, and the Lakers bench might actually be pretty good from what we've seen. Obviously, preseason is not the regular season. You need to see, it's very different to do it for a handful of games. It's another thing to do it for 82 games. But from what we've seen, the Lakers bench might be all right. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.